Hey everyone, Pastor Dave Freeman from Jubilee Christian Center. I'm with my good friend Pastor Justin Menzies, and today is day 3 of our How to Study the Word. We're doing something a little bit different today. I'll still be doing my little bit on Philippians and a different way of how to read the Word of God. But before we do, I thought it'd be great for us just to talk about why the Word of God is so significant. How can we trust the Word of God? Why would we even bother to go through all these different study methods and why would we even go to the Word of God? And so I've asked Justin to join me this morning, and we're going to do a short video, and we'll be doing a few more of these over the next few days.
Yeah, so we're going to go through a couple fulfilled prophecies that point to not only the divine authorship of the Bible, but also the accuracy of the fulfilled prophecies found in secular history, and how it just goes to prove that the Bible absolutely had divine assistance in the authorship of it. And so one of the examples that I want to go through first is the fall of Tyre. And so in 597 BC, the prophet Ezekiel made a bold prophecy about the city of Tyre, which is in modern-day Lebanon. Tyre was one of the wealthiest and most secured cities of the known world. However, Ezekiel made these following predictions about Tyre's future fate. And he made 5 predictions. The first was that Nebuchadnezzar would come up against the city. The second was that Nebuchadnezzar would build siege mounds against it and then break down its walls. The third is that other nations would also come against it. The fourth was that the city would eventually be scraped and flattened like the top of a rock, which is a pretty interesting prophecy. And then the fifth one was that the very stones, timbers, and soil would be thrown into the sea. And so it's actually quite an interesting prophecy to make, that not only is this wealthy, very fortified city going to fall, but it's also going to be scraped like the top of a rock, and all of its timbers, wood, and soil are going to be thrown into the sea. It's a very bold prediction, and at the time would have made no sense, and I highly doubt anyone actually believed him. But lo and behold, a number of years later, Nebuchadnezzar did come against the city of Tyre. And he did break through its walls, and he did put siege mounds around it. And on the city of Tyre, because it was on the coast of the sea, there was also an island that was just off the coast a little ways, and there was an island city there. And what they did with that city was the residents of the city of Tyre would flee from Tyre if the walls were broken through, and they would land on the island, and they would be safe on the island, in the island city. And so Nebuchadnezzar did break through those walls, and the people of the city of Tyre fled, and they went to the island city, and Nebuchadnezzar couldn't get them. So the first 2 prophecies were fulfilled, that Nebuchadnezzar came to the city, he broke through the walls and put siege mounds all around it. And then in 330 BC, it says that other nations would also come. In 330 BC, Alexander the Great with the Greeks came, and he also broke through the walls. But the people did the same thing that they did when Nebuchadnezzar had come. They fled again to the island city. But Alexander the Great was a proud man, and he didn't think that was actually a real victory. He wanted to completely crush the city of Tyre and its people. And so when they fled to the island city, it made him angry. And so what he got his soldiers to do was he got them to completely destroy the city. And they literally took the timbers and the soil and the rocks from the city, and they threw them into the sea and made a land bridge on a sandbar that was between the island and the mainland. And he marched his soldiers across from one side to the other. And literally the city was scraped like a rock, and it was thrown into the sea. And this is spoken of in secular history. And so the prophet Ezekiel actually predicted this 250 years before it happened. So again, not only does it prove that the Bible is true, but it was also impossible to predict that without divine assistance. And so it's a powerful prophecy fulfilled in secular history that goes to show, again, the Bible we have today is very reliable, very accurate, and trustworthy.